Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Allie Tarot 108 coming at you with another reading today. Today we are looking into, well, if you clicked on the video, you know who it is. You know who we're looking into. None other than Hollywood A-lister. Well, he's kind of ex-Hollywood now, isn't he? Ex-Hollywood A-lister um, Johnny Depp, who's had a very long and interesting life. He's a very kind of unique character. Um, you don't see anyone who you see a few actors who are maybe comparable to him, but who cannot compare to him really. There are others who I think for a certain era, all the guys they kind of wanted to be him, and now that he's getting older, I feel like men of his generation also idolize him. They also feel like, wow, look at this guy, how artistic, how um, even at his age, he was born in 1963, so he's getting up there. Even at his age, he's still something of a bit of a sex symbol, but he's also a symbol these days of champion, a champion for men, I guess, and for gender equality as well, because of what he went through with his famous case of male domestic abuse, right? So yeah, we are going to look at famous actor Johnny Depp today. And by the way, guys, this is kind of a viewer request. Someone did request this reading, but I have also been planning this reading for a while, just thinking about it basically. But yeah, he went through some serious stuff with the trial with Amber Heard a few years ago. And since then, things in his life have really changed, but he's really been through a lot in his life. So anyway, guys, if you're new here to the channel, let me just explain how we do these readings for past, present, future for the celebrities and other situations. We first usually take a past life card. We look at the past life of the celebrity or the celebrity pair, in this case, the celebrity. So in case you didn't know, there's a karmic understanding, which is that if a person comes to this world and they're born into wealth or fame, or they acquire it somehow in this life, there is that just kind of truth that in their past life they acquired some kind of karmic credits to get them to that place where they could become famous and rich in this life. It's not typical, it's not ordinary. Not everyone can be rich and famous, because imagine if we lived in a world where everyone would be rich and famous. Well, nothing would work. I guess there has to be a certain kind of hierarchy of people in the world for things to function. But yeah, he's always been a talent, from a young age. Well, from teenage, I guess. Well, I'm sure even when he was younger is what I'm tapping into. Like, he was always a very expressive young person when he was young. Um, but yeah, we should look at the past life of Johnny Depp. So what we do is we first take one of the past life cards, and then we look at the past of the person in this lifetime. In the first row, we take a few oracle cards and we take our tarot cards. Today I am using, it's called Tarot de El Dios y los Tres. And I also use this deck for Russell Brand. I feel like they have a kind of similar vibe to them. If you are interested in Russell Brand, check out that video on my channel. But yeah, I look at the first row, which is the past of the person in this life, and then the second row is the present, and the third row is the future. So we are going to look into all of that today for Mr. Johnny Depp. Yeah, when the viewer requested this reading, the viewer who requested it in one of my other videos in a comment, that viewer asked about his future love life, specifically after Amber Heard and all that. And I know that he has been married, I suppose, 3 times now, right? First time to Winona Ryder, second time to Vanessa Paradis, and they had their children together, and then the third time to Amber Heard for that short period of 15 months. But anyway, yeah, we are going to look at his future. That is coming up at the end. But before that, let's look at his past life before this life, or significant things which have left karmic impressions in his past lives to make him into the Johnny Depp of this life. So without further ado, let's begin. Oh, somebody jumped. Okay, so what do we need to know about Johnny Depp's past life? Why has he come here to be this character? Oh, interesting. Military. No, it has come up before in other, it actually came up for Justin Bieber's similar card like this. Soldier, I believe Bieber's card was, or maybe it was this one, I'm not sure. But that's interesting. Weapons development, infantry, Navy, Air Force. Let's see here. Guilty conscience. That's interesting. Prophecy and gifts. Lesson. Prophecy and gifts. I get this indication of like, I feel like he was some kind of military man in his past life. And he may have actually been killed at war, I feel. And we see here starvation or dehydration, death. And I get this message about like somebody warned him before he went off to war that like you're not going to come back, or you're not going to make it there. You're not going to be able to survive this conflict or whatever. So it's interesting. That could be something from his past life, in his most recent past life, where it's like, I feel like he died too soon in his past life. Like he had a young death. Like he wouldn't have been more than 45, I feel. So I feel him like his soul chose to come into this life knowing that he would be able to do certain things, giving him certain qualities to make him a superstar, because his soul felt like, okay, I've learned enough from this. Like I've suffered enough. So it's kind of like, I need to do something in my next life which is like much better than this. I need to choose a better life than this, you know? So yeah, I feel like he learned a lot of lessons about struggle and about listening to people and about heeding advice in his past life. So it's like, I feel like part of his rise to fame, part of his initial success, I get this message like it was more than necessarily being in the right place at the right time. It was also about like following advice and following advice from agents and just like saying, okay, I'm going to do what you want me to do because I need these roles. I need to be in acting. I need to be this. I need to express myself like this. And also this whole thing with like being killed, I feel at war, somehow you see this death, starvation or dehydration. It was like a very gruesome death, I feel, in his past life, where he got that kind of vision of darkness. I feel like in his past life he actually saw, kind of like the Grim Reaper before he was fully dead, with the whole starvation thing. So it gives him in this life this whole mood of really understanding the macabre, the macabre and the dark, and how he can play those characters so well, those characters who seem to come from the underworld, If you just look at like Edward Scissorhands, for example, or Sweeney Todd, like some of these characters that he's played, it's like I can understand the world of the darkness somehow, and how that darkness should be manifested within these characters. I can bring those characters to life because I saw it in my past life. I saw the darkness of this world in my past life. So, he one of the things that came up when I was actually Googling, when I was searching, okay, what's his horoscope and all that stuff, it's like people ask the question often, is Johnny Depp a Scorpio? The answer is no, he's not a Scorpio. He is a Gemini sun and a Capricorn moon. Now, I didn't look into his whole chart. Maybe the rest of you, maybe you guys in the comments can tell me if he does have any like prominent Scorpio aspects in his other parts of his chart, but his general sun and moon sign are not in like Scorpio. He's not a Scorpio as you think. He's actually quite different, quite Gemini in a way. But yeah, that's looking at his past life. So let's go on and look at his past of this life, Mr. Depp. So we first take one of these, and then we take one of these, looking into the past of his life. So when we're looking at the past of his life, it's like everything up to this present moment. And we know that in the past 5-10 years, he's been through quite a lot of stuff, especially with the whole Amber Heard trial that came up. Everybody's still talking about it. Everybody's still saying like, wow, she was a bad witch, etc., you know. But anyway, let's look at the past. He's getting older now, so there can be a lot coming up from the past, but let's look at the prominent things that we need to know about the past of Johnny Depp. Let's see. What do we need to know about Johnny Depp's past? What is a key theme coming up? Oh, I love it. Limitless. See yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone. Wow. I feel him like, what this card is saying is like, he has a God-given gift. His acting, his expression as an actor, as an artist as well. He's very artistic. We know that he's doing quite a lot of art these days, and music as well. But especially with acting, with being an actor, limitless. You know, he's played all sorts of different characters. He, like the wildest kind of characters, you know, Wonka, just so different. What a range, you know. But he's often casted to be that character who is kind of eccentric, kind of different. That person who is like, can be a bit of an enigma to some, you know, in as a character, the character's type is kind of like that enigma character, or a character who is an outcast in a way, you know, an outcast, an outsider, the outsider archetype, basically. He's been cast like that a lot, but he's also been cast in some very human roles, you know. Few years, like especially more recently, he did that Minamata film where he acted as that photographer who went to Japan, and then he did that other film, The Professor, where he was like a professor kind of going through a midlife crisis. And so he's been like in a lot of different roles, actually, not just these kind of outsider roles. Although he did sort of start his career like that, even in Gilbert Grape, I would say, when he was younger. That was a film where he wasn't necessarily really like an outsider. He was more of an insider, I would say. Been a really good guy, you know. But anyway, yeah, I love that movie, Gilbert Grape. I have to say, I love Johnny Depp. I love Johnny Depp. I love everything he does. But yeah, anyway, with the card here, Limitless, you see when he was younger, I feel like not only when he was younger, for his whole career, he has had offer after offer after offer, like people wanting him for their films. And I feel him always having to have just been like, okay, I'm going to choose really carefully, choose very wisely about the characters that I want to play, about the roles that I want to take. And also, I don't want to overwork myself. I want the roles that also you're willing to pay, from the directors of the studios. Like, are you willing to pay? Okay, then we can discuss, you know? Because I feel him like he's such a talent and he knows it. Especially like if we're looking at when he was younger in his past, he knew it. He knew it. He was such a talent. He was a big, big talent. He knew it. And also, I want to say that everything with his early roles, like this 21 Jump Street and stuff that he started with, like, I feel like it was right place at right time. Like, he was meant to be there. It was divinely arranged. You see, the divine can use anything and anyone. So he has come to this world to be a channel for entertainment and expression and a voice for those kind of outsider people, you know? Limitless. Johnny Depp is limitless. Also, we know that he can do a lot besides acting. he's not limited to acting. He is painting, he does music as well. So let's see what comes up. I feel like, which card is it? Okay, this one. So what do we need to know about Johnny Depp's past? Interesting. Library. So we've got that Scorpio energy coming up with number 8, 8th house, kind of secret stuff. And then 10. Yeah, obviously. 10th house, Capricorn symbol coming up. So 10th house is all about the world of work, the world of work and money, and like how other people in the world perceive you. So with the 8 here, you know, that's Scorpio, it's like, yeah, people have speculated all the time, oh, Johnny Depp, isn't he a Scorpio? The answer is no. As I already told you guys, he's not a Scorpio. But yeah, with that energy coming up, it's like, yeah, people have seen him and saw him, their outside perception as being, okay, this is a guy who's really like something spooky or hidden things related to him, you know? And I feel him also like he's a person, he likes secret things. Like he likes, I feel like he likes a lot of like underground music, art, movies, and kind of alternative stuff. I know that he wears some kind of fashion designers who are kind of like alternative fashion. Like there's Magnolia Pearl is one of the brands I know he wears. It's kind of like it looks a bit trash. It looks a bit like hobo chic, but it's like very expensive, this kind of stuff, you know? He's really, in a way, he's very cutting edge, you know? But it says here library, knowledge, learning, history, information, research, books, pastime, archives, hidden, documents, search, secrets, looking beneath the surface, author, reading, writing. Yes, now, I feel like Johnny Depp, he is the type, now I'm not actually sure, I didn't research it at all. Maybe you guys can tell me, but I feel like he's the type he might be writing something, or he may have written something in his life. Like he might be into writing poems, short stories, songs. I haven't actually listened to any of his music, but maybe he is also writing his own songs, like lyrics and that kind of stuff. Like I feel like he's a very expressive person, and also I get the feeling like he is really he tries to keep up to date on things. Like he tries to educate himself, and especially about history with this whole library energy coming up. It gives me this like kind of European French library. We know that he lived in France for quite a while with his ex-wife when he was raising his kids, Vanessa Paradis in the south of France. But like I feel like he appreciates history a lot, and I feel like that is what attracts him to Europe a lot as well, that he appreciates old history and he appreciates like you know, things from centuries ago. Like I feel him like a person as well with the 8th Scorpio energy, like he likes things which are kind of like vintage or antique or like from a past time. And I get this feeling from him as well, like he may be a little bit psychic as well. Like he can tap into energies very, very well. And I feel like he's the type of person, kind of like me, if he picks up an old book, like an antique book, he's picking it up and he's kind of tapping into the energy of the previous owner, or like how the centuries have gone by around that book, or you know what I mean? So, do any of you guys experience this? It's like, it's just kind of a psychic gift. Like, I feel like he may be a little bit psychic. Maybe he even reads tarot. Maybe he even reads tarot. And I feel like he has quite a connection to things which are occult type. Now, we know in Hollywood a lot of them do get involved with this kind of dark sort of stuff. I feel like he has been to some of that stuff because he's had to be. Especially if you're an A-lister like him, there's like no way often that you can get around doing questionable kind of things, you know, but especially since he got married a few times to, you know, celebrity wives as well, Vanessa and Winona. It's like they all have a kind of club that they belong to, you know, in order to maintain that fame. Otherwise, there's no way, you know. So, yeah. Let's see what comes up in the tarot for Johnny Depp. What do we need to know about his past? What do we need to know about Johnny Depp's past? Could be his rise to fame, could be Amber Heard trial, could be any of the recent things that have happened. What do you want us to know, Spirit? Cards, Tiger, Eye of the Tiger, Energy of the Tiger. What do you want us to know about Johnny Depp? Thank you. We have this one coming up first. Ten of Pentacles. Interesting. Ten of Pentacles. Judgment card. Oh, yeah. That's about his trial for sure. Knave of Swords in reverse. It's interesting. Four of Cups. Okay. What else? A few more jumped. Four of Swords. Okay, four energy coming up here. And Knight of Swords. Interesting. So when I'm seeing a lot of force here, it's that energy of like home life. And I do know that Johnny Depp, when he, like, if he is asked ever in an interview, what place feels like home to you? Because he's lived in so many places around the world. He's now living in the UK, in Somerset region. He's lived in France, in US, and different places all around. But whenever he's asked what place feels like home to you, he will answer, the only place I ever really felt like home was when I was living in the south of France and raising my kids. When my children were growing up, that was the only place that really felt like home to me. So if we're looking in his past, we see that four energy coming up about home. And Four of Cups and Four of Swords, it's like, I actually got the indication right now about his present moment, although we're not getting to it yet. That four energy, it's like, I feel like he thinks a lot about home. He thinks a lot about his home, or his home when he was growing up. Like, he reminisces quite a lot on those places that he really felt at home. And when it went before, I would say, I get the message like before he had his kids with Vanessa Paradis and was living in the south of France, before he had his kids, it was like, I feel like he reminisced quite a lot about his upbringing and when he was growing up. And like, I feel like his home life that he had somehow gave him big inspiration to his art, to his artistic self, artistic soul. With the Ten of Pentacles and the Judgment card coming up here, I get this message that, and I want to tell you guys also, disclaimer, these readings are for entertainment only, but I want to get, I tell you strongly here with these three cards, like Ten of Pentacles, Judgment card, and Knave of Swords in reverse, that I feel like with Amber Heard, okay, talking about Amber Heard right now, that a reason she married him, and kind of, I feel like she tricked him actually into marrying her. Like, she used him. I feel like she was trying to get money out of him, big money out of him. And that was the whole reason for the part of this trial. And I see their relationship as like her pulling on him, like with a lasso, you know, lasso, like the cowboys swing their rope and like hook a horse or hook a cow or whatever, and then tighten it and pull it toward them. And I get that energy. I get this really black energy from Amber Heard. If I'm looking at her at all, if I'm thinking about her, if I'm meditating on her and picking up her energy, it's like, whoo, black energy. Like, this woman was, I could even say maybe doing black magic on him or something, because I wouldn't put it past her. I get this really bad feeling from her, especially here coming up with this Knave of Swords. You see in who it is in reverse. It's actually, this body is the character of the god Krishna. Krishna, who is the god of love. And he's holding a sword here, you see. And normally Krishna, he's holding a flute. So it's like with the flute, Lord Krishna, he attracts all of the cowherd girls, because he's a cowherd. So he attracts all of the young cowherd girls to him to come out with him and abandon their families, abandon other things in their life, Um, but you see how it's kind of different here. He's holding a sword. So it's this kind of energy. I'm feeling this card is actually about Amber Heard, okay? Like, I'm attracting you for a malicious purpose. I'm calling you in to me. I'm seducing you or making you love me or just bringing you toward me, your energy toward me because I need something from you, you know? And Amber Heard, I believe she was also with Elon, right? So she has a history and a past for very rich men who are kind of eccentrics. And I mean, this reading is not necessarily about her, but with it coming up in reverse here, it's kind of like this dark energy. I'm going to pull you in and, like a siren, seduce you for my own purposes, you know? And I get, because it's coming up as the third place after this, it's like, I feel like everybody has seen it afterward, you know, about Amber Heard, like how nasty you are. But with the Ten of Pentacles and the Judgment card coming up here, it's like, ooh, so much money going into the trial here. With Ten of Pentacles here actually coming up, there's a lot coming up from this card. It's like Pentacles is all about the money or material life that you have, and number 10 is like it's the highest number you can go to before you get to, you know, the knight, the king, the queen, the page, whatever. But like, you know, I feel like it was predestined. Johnny Depp, he was meant to be extremely rich in this lifetime, completely. Like, I feel him like at times he's had so much money, like I don't even know what to do with it. You know, he's happy, but he's like, you know, I just really love acting and I really love what I do and I really love being these characters and there's nothing more that I can really do in with myself. Like I have to do it for my soul, you know, that's my art, that's my soul. So it's like him following his art, following his soul is just made him kind of fly, you know. See this moth here, it's like I'm, because of my ability to fly over others and to like let my soul fly essentially. It's like pentacles, pentacles, you know? Money, money, money. Throw the coins at me, you know? He's done it so well here. And with the Judgment card, this is about his trial. Definitely about his trial. But you see here with the skeletons rejoicing, it's like, we're here for you, Johnny. All the people, we know that people were very, very supportive of him in this trial. And this trial was a huge, huge thing of change for him in his life. Since the trial, you know, he moved to the UK and he basically retired from Hollywood. It was a huge, huge turning point for him completely. So I want to say also that I feel this whole thing that happened, it was kind of like written in the stars, you know? The things that are good, the things that are bad, they can all be written in the stars. And this thing that happened with the trial with Amber Heard with him was definitely, definitely written in the stars. Like, this is your turning point, Johnny Depp. You know, that that is going to change your life in a very big, big way. You know, he had his time in the spotlight in Hollywood, and so he will always, always be a superstar for sure. Everybody will know his face. Everyone, like pretty much everyone in the world, I think, knows who Johnny Depp is. You know, it's almost impossible to meet someone. It doesn't matter where you are. You're in Africa, you're in South America, you're in the remote places. You know, some people have seen Pirates of the Caribbean or what have you, but yeah, that was a moment for him, you know, with the Judgment card, big turning point. And a lot of people were looking at him and judging him, you know, is he right? Is he wrong? To speak about the general public besides the courtroom, but yeah, with the Knight of Swords coming up in reverse here, it's interesting. I feel like it's talking about what I just mentioned, that whole stopping of the career, you know, the finishing of his career, kind of like retiring from film, retiring from Hollywood. So, yeah, we are looking at his past right now. We will look at his present in a second, but with the Knight of Swords in reverse, it's like the Knight is always about some kind of movement, moving towards something, and in reverse, it's like about, it can be seen as stopping that movement towards something. So even still, he has connections in Hollywood, and he has a media company as well. The name is currently slipping my mind, but yeah, he has a lot of connections. He's always going to be a star. You see this shining star around the horse's head. It's like he's always going to be a star, and there are always going to be people who are thinking of him, and he's always going to have new ideas that he is working on and new projects that he's doing. Doesn't matter if it's within acting or not, but with the Knight of Swords here, it's really giving me this kind of retirement energy. Like the Knight is finally grown old, you know? Not washed up though. Definitely an A-lister forever. So let's see what comes up in the present moment for Mr. Johnny Depp. What comes up? Okay, this one comes up. Oh yeah, present moment. Right action, it says aparigraha literally means let everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come. Oh yes. I feel like he's taking that action right now with taking a distance from Hollywood, because that trial with Amber really affected his image as an actor. During that trial, when people thought he may have been guilty, many media companies, they wanted to stop their contracts with him and that other stuff. So with Hollywood, you know, from Hollywood especially. So I feel like with all the criticism of him, he said, you know, if they want to criticize me, I'm bigger than them. I don't need them. I don't need anyone who is questioning my credibility, who's questioning my integrity, who's questioning my, what would you say, who's questioning my goodness as a person, as a man, you know. I would never do anything bad to a woman, you know. But we also know that he did in the recent past have a drinking problem, right? So since then, news has come out that said he stopped that, but basically, like, I feel like with the whole trial, he finally said, like, it's time for me to let go. This aparigraha. Let everything that wants to go, go. Like, it's time for me to let go of that aspect of my life, of that time of my life, Hollywood, you know. Since then, he's moved on to the UK, working on his painting, and he's still appearing in commercials. He's I believe, a face of Dior right now, and he's in a band, right? This Hollywood Vampires. Yeah, but basically, like, it's a very welcome change I'm feeling here from this card. You see this woman, she's like dancing, and it's this kind of blue energy, like easygoing kind of water blue energy. So yeah, I'm happy for him for sure to find peace how he is in his life, working on paintings and being peaceful like that. And also, it's like he is getting older, so acting, it's more physical. But let's see what comes up in the next card. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So right now it is June 2025, nearing the end of June 2025. So it says headache, and it has that Leo energy, but number 5 can be perceived as like it's the sun as well, but it doesn't necessarily mean a positive thing. You would think the sun means something positive and illuminating, but sun and number 5 can usually mean something is like blocked or something is stopped. And then we have Virgo, that's 6th house energy, which is that 6th house is about sickness, disease, hospitals. Interesting. So You see what it says here: headache, poor health, disease, illness, unpleasant, crisis, emergency, body signal, needing self-care, problem, root cause, annoying, disagreeable, something's off, pain, underlying conditions. Yeah, guys, he is getting older. What can you say? What else can we say? He's getting older. That comes with aches and pains and difficulty and wanting to retire. So I feel like that is part of his reason for walking away from Hollywood. Not only the criticism, but him just feeling like, I'm done with this. I'm done with all the action. I'm done with all the nonsense. Amber, she put me through a ringer. She really put me through a ringer. Like, I feel like it's just like everything reared its head with Amber Heard. Like, I just can't tolerate it anymore, and I don't want this drama-filled people around me anymore, you know? So I feel like he got together with Amber out of his own actual poor judgment because of him having those issues with like alcohol abuse or whatever he was doing, you know, and him just not being in a really good headspace. He took that poor decision of being around her and being with her. So yeah, I feel like he realized things have to change, because if things keep going how they're going, I'm not gonna have a long life, basically. So he chose to change some things. He's living like that now, and yeah. So let's ask Tarot, what do we need to know about the present moment of Johnny Depp? So 5 of Wands. Yes, exactly. 5 is that whole energy of stopping something, and Wands is all about action. So it's like taking it slow, taking it easy. It's like kind of retirement, not too active, not overly active or ambitious. The fire is calming down. You see all the fire here, the Wands. And also with this 5 of Wands card, as I told you before, it's all about like toxic people. I feel you see these faces, it's like goodbye and good riddance to people who are not serving me and not good for me. So this one coming up, 7 of Swords. Okay, what else? What else? This one, 2 of Pentacles. Okay, this one, the Hierophant. Okay, the Chariot. In reverse, and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so with the 4 of Pentacles coming up last here, it is that energy of investing in my home, making my home comfortable, making my home life comfortable. There are other things coming up here with so with the Chariot in reverse. It's that energy again of like wanting to take it slow. I don't want to travel too much. I will just stay around where I am. I'm happy where I am, where I live. With the Hierophant here, I feel actually now the Hierophant card is always like about a person, about people or a person who you can look up to a lot. And actually I see Johnny Depp as a guy who, I actually do really see him as someone who likes history somehow. And I'm not exactly sure what religion he declares himself to be, but I do get an energy of like him being interested in Catholic history for whatever reason. Like middle age kind of history and like secret kind of stuff, like maybe some occultism or like little interesting things. I feel like on the spiritual level, if we're looking at the Hierophant here regarding Johnny Depp, and if I'm tapping into his energy, I feel like he's a person, he's interested in a lot of kind of secret stories or hidden truths. And I feel him like he may not necessarily just look at those things from one particular tradition. I feel like he may be someone who is like, oh, I want to know the deeper story of like Gautama Buddha, or I want to know the hidden history and secrets of old Catholic saints. Like I get that energy coming up from him. So I feel like he may actually be interested in those kind of stories, you know. he may listen to them in his daily life. Maybe I'm just crazy if he's ever watching this, which he probably won't be. I don't know if anyone can confirm or tell me I'm crazy. But yeah, I feel him like from this Hierophant card, like there are a lot of things he's interested in deeper things he's interested in. Oh, Egyptian energy here as well. But yeah, I feel like he's looking at things that are kind of interesting to him in this way. You know what I mean? So with the Seven of Swords and Two of Pentacles coming up here, it's interesting. Look what we have. We have the Knave of Swords and the Two of Pentacles kind of facing each other. So with that two energy, the number two is about the second house and it's Taurus energy. So it's about feeling groundedness and feeling like I can experience a little bit of luxury that I want or that I need in my life, you know? It's interesting that these two are facing each other. It comes up as significant for here because I felt like this card was Amber, if you remember, and I feel like this card is him. So it's kind of like with the Pentacles, he's kind of like getting his life back together after this whole trial, after this whole slander. And I feel like strongly he's still not over it, not completely over it. Like he hasn't, I know, I believe in recent interviews, he hasn't wanted to talk about it as well. So with that Two of Pentacles here in reverse, facing that above card, Knave of Swords, it's like, I'm still recuperating, I'm still healing from that terrible slander that was against me, you know, in the media like that. And I feel like he really kind of hates her actually. Like you ruined my life is there's these words coming up. Um yeah, with Seven of Swords here, especially after the Five of Wands, Seven of Swords, that seven energy is that Libra energy about relationships and balance, especially. But I especially get this energy and message about like making a relationship with myself, kind of like marrying myself and being grounded within myself with the swords energy here as well. And also with this kind of devil horn face coming up, it's kind of like I'm able to look at my shadow. I'm able to see those dark parts of me because he did go through a lot in the past some years, like in the past 10 years with drinking issues and with this kind of downward slope of his life going on, you know. It's kind of, I get this energy of like marrying myself, like being able to face my demons, you know, being able to understand. Oh, and look, it's right under the Judgment card. So it's kind of like that trial and those things that happened there were like a catalyst for things to open up within myself, like cracking me open and making me say like, I need to realize who I am and who I need to be and who I need to be with. And I feel like the conclusion is kind of like, I need to be with me. I need to be kind to me. I feel him saying that, like Johnny Depp saying, I need to be kind to me. I need to be good to me. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it to see older years, you know? Yeah, so whew, it's interesting. What's coming up now in the future for Mr. Depp, Johnny Depp, Johnny, whoops, Johnny Depp. Oh, who's coming up? Okay, it's this one. Oh, great, for the future. So we're looking at the future line now. Individuality. Every person has their own personalized study plan in this Earth School. So when the viewer requested this reading for Johnny Depp, their main question was, is he going to be in another relationship? Now we will check it in the cards coming up, but what I'm seeing here is individuality. So now that he is getting older, he may choose to stay single. So it says, every person has their own personalized study plan in this Earth School. And this individuality card is not only about relationships, it's about his career and his associates as well. I feel like I see him in the future continuing to say like, I am not going to step back into Hollywood at all don't try to entice me, don't try to tempt me. I feel like there will be, well, there will be more offers for sure, because I read the news that directors who were his friends, like Terry Gilliam, Tim Burton, they've gotten only like mixed or short replies from him saying like, you know, I don't want to act anymore. I won't be in any more productions, even for you guys who were my great friends, who helped me rise to fame. I just see him like with his whole sickness stuff and like taking care of health and getting older. It's like I can't be in any more big productions where it's going to require a lot of energy and physical energy from me, you know? So, because I feel him like he's a person, he puts his whole heart and soul into every role he plays. And I feel him like a person who's like, if I don't do it right, I shouldn't do it at all, you know? I feel like he's actually kind of a perfectionist with his, especially his acting, but now that he's getting into painting, we know he's doing painting quite a lot. So anyway, let's see what's in the future for Johnny Depp. If anybody wants to jump out, thank you. So, oh, interesting. Broken heart. No, Johnny. Broken heart. That's so sad. Okay, what's in the future? So, we've got number 3, Gemini. He is a Gemini. And Pisces, which is the 12th sign, 12th house, and can be said to be significant of the planet Ketu, or south node of the moon, which is all about like renunciation and kind of breakages and breaking things off. And you see here this whole thing, Jack and Diane. Isn't it kind of funny? His son's name is Jack, and Jack Sparrow as well. And I believe his grandfather's name was Jack as well. So anyway, here it says broken heart, heartbreak, interference, sorrow, grief, funk, sadness, mourning, distress, letdown, gloomy, hopelessness, regret, crisis, unhappy, hurt, bitter, devastated, emotional pain. Yeah, so that is so unfortunate, isn't it? Broken heart, sadness. I hope it's only the near future. I hope it's not like for the rest of his life, but I see him as a person who can feel emotions very deeply and feel really like let down by people. So I feel like now we know, actually, I have seen the news that his artwork has changed a lot since the whole Amber Heard trial. And since he quit drinking as well, he's expressing his deeper emotions in a way which is not through using alcohol or substances or like that, you know. He's expressing things through his painting, through his art, through his music as well. But I've heard that, yeah, his artwork especially has taken a more darker turn since that whole trial and quitting alcohol as well. So that can be like that whole Gemini. Oh, what am I saying, guys? What am I saying? Oh my God, this is not Pisces. This is Gemini and Gemini. Oh my. What am I saying, guys? What am I saying? But with the 3 and the 3, Gemini and 3, it's like double 3 coming up. It's that communication about his broken heart. So, oh, for sure, he's going to be sharing that, and he already is sharing that a lot through his artwork and through the thing. So I feel like he's going to take on this kind of a sad boy persona. I mean, more than he already has, you know. He's kind of has that darkness to him. Can be a result of the Capricorn moon, but Capricorn moon that he has. But don't, in the comments, don't hate on me, guys, for making that mistake, because Pisces and Gemini symbols, they look kind of similar in a way. But yeah, it's Gemini and Gemini, and he is a Gemini. So it's about communication. and Mercury energy, sharing himself and showing him, and Mercury, with that Mercury energy as well, it is that whole thing about showing himself to be really like the prince that he is, you know, to be really like the king that he is. Just how powerful he really is as an artist, you know. So anyway, let's look now at the tarot. So what do we need to know for Johnny Depp coming up? And the question also is he going to find love again? Is he going to be single for the rest of his life? Or what are the next things that are going to happen with him for the rest of his life in the future? Thank you. Okay, Knave of Cups. I had to cover because some of these cards have a little thing which is like not safe for YouTube. So this character, he has a big, you can say eggplant coming up here and spilling some water. He's kind of like a Neptune character. So with this Knave of Cups, okay, Knave of Cups. So with the Cups energy, it's like the energy of emotion, and with the Knave, it and it's interesting. Instead of page, we have knave in this deck. So it's like a male, very suiting for him. You can say it's kind of like starting something new in a way, starting something new emotionally. But let's see what it means, especially for his relationship or relationships or another marriage or another partnership coming up. If there's any, please let us know. So he's in that state again of solitude and singletude, you know, with the Knave. It's like the Knave is a kind of a, like the page, it's supposed to be a young person, you know, who is like yet to be married and inexperienced in the world. Of course, he is very experienced, but yeah, what do we need to know for the future? Knight of Wands in reverse again. So with the reverse, it's like not taking action toward that. So, okay, what else? Five of Swords, okay. What else? King of Cups, okay. What else? Two of Cups. Last card. Actually, I feel it's that one. So, Nine of Swords. Interesting with Nine of Swords coming up here. I get the message from this card where I feel like he is in the future. People are always gonna look at him. People are always gonna hold him as someone in the spotlight with the 9 energy coming up here. Like, it's that Jupiter energy, which Jupiter in astrology is that planet of gurus, of people who are looked up to, of like father figures, of teachers. And I see this particularly as having to do something with his art. Like, his art career, I feel, is really going to be taking off, especially as he gets older, I feel. People are really going to start coveting his art and buying his art a lot, and reprints of his art. And I feel like his art, actually, his paintings and stuff, are going to be kept around, like even prints of them are going to be kept around in the future, kind of like a Van Gogh or something, is what I'm seeing. They may be in 100 years' time, after he's dead, after he's long dead, people are going to remember him for his art a lot. His painting is art. I'm seeing this here, you know, see how this figure is like being pierced with these swords, but I feel this energy of his art very strongly. People are going to remember him for his art. With the swords here, it's like, it's not about, you know, I feel like wands would speak more to his acting career here. And swords here, I feel speaks more to his kind of intellectual career, which is more like his artwork career. So, and maybe poems and stuff, because I feel like he does write something. I could be wrong. I haven't searched it, but I feel like he has written something like poems or songs or stuff like that. But people are going to remember him for his art. Amazing. Of course, for his acting as well, but his art is going to be in museums like La Louvre. I'm seeing the, the Louvre in Paris, and people remembering him for that. So yeah, what else is coming up here? So we already mentioned about this Knave of Cups, but it is right under in the first line. It's kind of like first house, isn't it? Um, if we consider these things like houses, it's kind of like first house, and it's like all these things are aligned there. And then there's this Knave of Cups, so it's like he was once, and he still is, very rich. He came to riches in the past. In the present, he's removing himself from that industry that made him rich, and in the future, he's kind of starting anew emotionally, with the whole knave energy. And then we have here Knight of Wands. So it's like Knight of Wands in reverse. So it's like, yeah, again, that energy of I'm stopping something. Especially this row is all about like the trial and how it's affected him. He's choosing not to put himself back in that sphere of those people who criticized him, and those people who potentially doubted him, and people who are related in any way to Amber. I feel he's stepping away from that, removing himself and avoiding those people, even hiding in a way. With the third card here, Five of Swords, it's interesting. Five of Swords is kind of that energy of like, again, stopping something with the number 5. And the swords is like about the mental state. So I see this card as like overcoming, especially with this moth here, like flying upward. Even though all these swords are trying to push them down, it can speak a lot about his depressive state, like trying to overcome it. Because it on the mental platform, like with the swords energy, I have to get over it. Part of this thing is eating me up a lot. I feel it. I feel it in the future. Like the things that he's gone through in the past 5 years or so have eaten him up a lot, and they're going to continue to affect him a lot in his life. But I get this message as well with this card about him thinking a lot about the future and what little time he has left on this earth, with the skull here, about his final day, about him thinking, I need to figure out who I can be and how I can live on this earth until my final day, because I've done so much, I've been so much, people want me, but I feel like I'm moving on to another thing. I'm another person now than the person I was in the past. With the King of Cups here, I feel like he is going to find himself again. He's going to be happy and peaceful within himself. And with the Two of Cups here as well, it is that energy, Taurus energy with number 2, of feeling grounded again. I'm grounded in myself again. So I feel like he is going to heal from all of that difficult stuff that he's been through, not only with the trial, but with alcoholism, with past divorces as well, divorces from the mother of his children and all that. But also with the Two of Cups, we know he has 2 children. And I feel him being like very happy for them in the future, really, really just loving them. And I feel like, yes, he can become a grandfather. But I feel him as being like a grandfather who's just going to be kind of someone like in the distance. But actually, I do see him having a very good relationship with his grandchildren coming up in the future and really, really loving them. And that plays into the Nine of Swords as well again. Like, I feel like he may even become a kind of like nanny grandpa. Nanny grandpa, where he may like to spend time with his grandkids a lot. I'm seeing specifically one small boy who I feel will really, really remind him of his son when his son was small. And I feel him having like a new life breathed into him. I actually get an indication like it could be his son's son or something like that. Maybe his daughter's son, but I feel like his daughter is definitely going to have children. His son will as well. I feel actually like his daughter is going to be significantly more famous than his son. Lily Rose is going to be significantly more famous than Jack, but I feel like Jack is also going to be super, super, well known, of course. Can't get around it, really. You're Johnny Depp's child, so yeah, he's going to enjoy with the Nine of Swords as well. He's going to enjoy his life, older age, when he is a grandfather again, and really love his grandkids again. Yeah. So let's see what else comes up. Final thought about Johnny Depp. Final thought, what we as viewers need to know about him. What is a prime message about him that we definitely need to know beyond anything else? Please let us know. Okay, so with number 6 and that Capricorn, Leo energy coming through, 6 and 5, it's like, what we need to know about him. He is a celebrity. He's a celebrity. It says curtain call, acclaim, fame, recognition, parade, celebrity, admiration, applause, show, appreciation, spotlight, focused attention, theater, act, performance. You are watching a movie. This man's life. Also, I'm seeing that in the future they're gonna make, like after he's dead in some years, still many years to go, I have to say. I feel there's still many years to go. They're going to make a movie about his life, or they're going to write books about him, and it's going to be a huge thing when he leaves this world, because he's so iconic, and people have idolized him so much, and he will go down in history as a great actor, a great artist, and artist in an expressive way, a great example of someone who can truly express himself, kind of like Charlie Chaplin, So yeah, Johnny Depp, he is gonna go down in the history of histories, kind of like James Dean, like a Marilyn Monroe. I feel like he's gonna be remembered for maybe even a century or more to come. I feel, especially with the artwork stuff. People's interest in movies may change, and how many of us can name actors that were super famous in the 1940s or 50s, other than like Charlie Chaplin, Marilyn Monroe, or like, some of these old actors who have stood the test of time, he will be remembered. That is what comes up. So guys, if you like this reading today, don't forget to like, comment, share, and by the way, guys, I do like receiving your suggestions for new readings. It gives me new ideas, and I love to hear from you. So until next time, wish you the best, love and light. Take care. Bye.